When was the last time you tried a new position in the bedroom? Not just switching up who's on top, but actually changing the way your body is angled, lifted, and supported. One of our favorite ways to enhance the experience is by using intimacy furniture.
Now, if that's completely new concept to you, you're not alone. Over half of the people we surveyed have never used something like a pillow or a wedge during sex. And yet, once you hear about the benefits of using one, you might just want to give it a try. Because something as simple as a little elevation can mean deeper sensation, less pain, and a whole new experience with your spouse. Disclaimer, there is nothing right or wrong about using pillows or wedges to enhance sex. Find what works for the two of you, but if you've never talked about it before, this may be what you need to get a conversation started. Make sure to share this video with your spouse.
And let's actually talk about some of the key benefits,
Yes.
right? Because you can be thinking intimacy furniture, are there really benefits? And there are. In fact, we have this beautiful story of a wife. We were actually invited to speak at a marriage conference, and the wife had been in an auto accident years prior. Every sexual encounter with her husband ended up in a trip to the chiropractor, ibuprofen, all of this pain. And what she found was that using the Wedge Ram combo, she was actually able, for the first time in years, to have sexual intimacy with her husband without pain. You guys, she came into the conference the next day with tears running down her face because this was so transformative. And that's something important for a lot of folks to know. If you're suffering with hip pain, back pain, knee pain, even neck pain, using something like a pillow, a piece of intimacy furniture can actually create an environment where you can be sexually intimate with your spouse and not have pain.
For this particular husband and wife, they were gifted this during our session, and I'm going to share this with you so you can see it. So it's called the Wedge ramp, and it is actually big. This is the ramp side of it. As you can see, a little shorter this way, great length this way. It's fantastic. And here, Elisa is going to pick up the wedge side of it, or I will pick up the wedge side
You're
of
just
it.
gonna pick it up.
It's
It's not that it's
much
heavy,
larger.
it's more awkward.
Yeah.
Because
As you
like
can see, it's way big.
it's like
But
this.
so you could lay yourself here. And then if Elisa wants to hold the wedge side over there, you can push yourself like that. You can push it down, whatever that may look like. But something as simple as this can make a huge difference in how you engage each other in your sexual intimacy. This is one of a few that we are going to show you here today.
Because it's not just about taking care of aches and pains.
No.
Using pillows, using different types of furniture can actually deepen penetration, deepen that connection, right? Because your body is at different angles. Let's face it, we're all familiar with missionary flat on your back, on your bed, or on the floor, horizontal. But when you start to change those angles, you start to see, feel, and interact with one another in different ways.
Yep. And this one is
That's the Jaz
the
Motion.
Jaz Motion. All the products we are sharing with you are from Liberator. They are a company that we have used for a long, long time and have really loved their products. I will say we sell these directly, and we'll share a link with you to our site. The site that you may go to may show images and portraits that you do not want to see.
Consider this a secondary disclaimer. If you are concerned at all about seeing images, stick with our site. Don't go directly to their site.
There you go. So Jaz Motion, as you can see, it's curved here. So as Lisa was saying, it could add some deeper penetration, different angles. You can use it like this, lay this flat, or you can put it the other way where this is on the ground or on your bed, and it may tilt when you are making love.
Hence the motion part of that. And even using something like the Jaz Motion, the Wedge Ramp combo, these are different tools that even just change your proximity to one another.
Sure do.
Right? When you're flat horizontal, again, let me go like this.
Flat.
Yeah.
There you go,
It
flat.
would be easy. Like, why do I make it complicated? Because sometimes they make sexual intimacy complicated. But even if you come up just a little bit, the proximity towards one another, how you're seeing your spouse, the sensations, all of that is so different. And when you're using tools like this, it also helps if you have dramatic height differences. Some of these tools can actually, because they bring you closer together and they can shorten that, can actually help you as well.
So I'm going to share with you the flip ramp now, because that one is a cube.
This is how it sits in our room. It looks like an innocuous cube, like a
So
piece of furniture.
if needed, height wise, you could go from rear entry, spouse on top, other on the ground. Now, this also converts to a flip ramp. So it opens up and you now have curvature here and you can set yourself up. Also, if needed, you could stand here, making it a little less high in terms of height differences.
Mhm.
This does sit in our room, but this also comes with a cover. So it looks like it's just a cube sitting in any room. So you don't have to worry about if children come in going, what is this? Why is this here? That sort of questioning. But this is a really cool one, cube size, really great.
It's like having an ottoman in your room. And
Yes.
there are a lot of funny stories about couples, like kids and grandkids, getting a hold of that and just thinking it's a really comfortable TV cushion to watch TV on. And so, of course, it just becomes a little bit of humor between husband and wife. These are just a few examples. And when you start thinking through, like, how could we change up our sexual intimacy and allowing yourself to be creative and to think, what would it be like if we were a little bit closer? What would it be like if there was different penetration? What would it be like if I didn't have the aches and pains? It starts to get the wheels turning about what's possible if you just change your furniture.
And for us, it's made a huge difference. Somebody in the one family, name is Chuck. Chuck, many years ago, shared that he and his wife were using a pillow after hip surgery. And that got Elisa and I curious enough many, many years ago to look and search. And over the years, we have used all of these in different ways and at different times and in different seasons to help us get close and connected in our sexual intimacy.
Now, we also want to answer some of probably the most common questions that we've gotten, because I know some of you, as you're watching the video, are like, those pieces are big. Tony and Lisa, where the heck are we supposed to store these things? If Tony had to pick it up and Elisa can't do it by herself, where is this going? And it's not just a matter of where do you keep it on a daily basis, but where do you keep it so that the two of you can access it when you want to use it for your sexual intimacy? Now, in our home, we have a pretty decent sized closet. And so all of these stay in our closet. And some people store them under their bed. It's just finding a place where it's going to be accessible and not forgotten. So, another question, Tony, what if my spouse isn't interested?
That's a great one and something that comes up often. I would say number one, share this, see it, look at it. I think a lot of times we see these products or we hear about these products and thoughts of some contraption comes into our mind. And yet when we actually see them and we look at them, we realize they're nothing more than helping us to angle one another. If you look at the wedge, and I say this after talking to many a couples who in the recent past have shared with us that they have bought beds that move. And maybe for yourself, maybe you are on a movable bed. And so this could do something similar for you. But when you start to look at this and you think about it, that's just the wedge. And you can just prop it up underneath you and help you sleep or help you have more intimate sexual intimacy together. What does that look like? And so that's what these are. They're nothing tough. It's maybe just that conversation of just going, hey, honey, what if we just pick one up? Give it a shot. What could happen if you or I didn't have that pain in our shoulder anymore or in our hip anymore so we could be sexually intimate? What would that do for us?
I also want to say, when it comes to bringing it up and having that conversation, I've been talking about the missionary position a lot throughout this video. And it's one of those things where even something like the Jaz Motion Pillow, that even at the most basic, like we're talking about doing all the same positions that the two of you already do, but you add a pillow, you add a ramp, you add a wedge. It changes the dynamic. And let me talk about this when it comes to your sexual intimacy. As a marriage coach, I know that couples can get very much into this place where they're doing the same thing in the same way all the time. It happens. I hear the stories. Using One of these pillows, a ramp, a wedge, allows you to just change that ever so slightly to have different interactions between husband and wife.
That's good.
Another question: where do we purchase it?
Yes, we are going to put a link here for you in the description that will go to our shop. Again, we make sure that there is nothing graphic for you to see. It is the product. You can see it. You can see the colors, determine what you want, and purchase it.
I think this is probably going to be disclaimer number 3 for this video. If you go searching for ramps, wedges, pillows, that type of thing online, like just a general Google search, we do want to say we cannot be responsible for everything else that people put out on the internet. So just be careful as you're looking at sites. We understand there's a lot of sensitivity around sexual material, and you can find a lot of yuck stuff out there. So that's why we tend to curate here at One Extraordinary Marriage. Our heart is to curate things that don't lead you astray, that just keep it.
Between you and your spouse.
You can think about pillows and wedges like seasoning. It's not always necessary for a great meal, but sometimes a little bit can enhance things a whole lot. So if pain has been getting in the way, if things have maybe felt a little too routine, or if you just want to try something new together, this is a low pressure, fun place to start. We'll even leave the link for our favorite ones in the description below.
If this is your first time here, we're Tony and Elisa DiLorenzo, creators of the 6 Pillars of Intimacy. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another video. We'll see you next time. Love you guys.